Hi, my name is Rita, and today I'm going to show you how you can use Cricut insert cards with your Cricut Access account to complete ready-to-make projects. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can complete the outside of your card with a nice cutout and include a written message on the inside by using your cricut-joy, all within 10 minutes. So let's get started. Here I've got my set of cricut-joy insert cards. You can see that it comes with a whole bunch of different colors of insert cards. These ones happen to be glitter. I've got gold, red, and black, and then also these 3 different shades of cardstock for the cards, and a whole bunch of different envelopes. First, I'm going to pick out the ones that I want to use for my card. So I'm going to be using this sort of cream color and the gold insert. Now I can move into picking out what card I want. So I'll start a new project in Design Space and select a insert card. You can see that Cricut Access has a lot of different options that you can pick from, so I'm going to filter these down a bit by selecting the cricut-joy insert cards and also putting in text for birthday. So now I'm only seeing the birthday card options. This card will actually be for my mom, and she's a fantastic gardener, so I'm looking for something floral. And this one right here really fits the bill. You can see that when I open this up, there's a whole bunch of different directions for how I can do this and the materials that would be needed. When I hit Make It, it goes straight into the Make It screen. And from here, I need to connect to my Joy and then select the material. For this, it will be the Cricut Insert Card cardstock. And after that is selected, I'll need to load up my material and get the materials ready. You can see that the first command is for using a black pen and then to load the material. So here is the Cricut Joy pen. This one comes with the machine when you buy it. It's going to sit in the same spot as the Cricut blade is currently in. So I'm going to unclamp, remove the blade, and place the pen in its place, and then reclamp. And that's it. Now I'm going to get the mat ready. So I'm going to peel off the clear protector and place the card into the card mat, which has this top layer, which will be the cutting surface, and then the bottom half, which protects the second layer of the card. We're going to align to the top of the blue banner, or rather the edge of the blue banner, and then use a braying tool to apply even pressure across the top of the surface, which will help the material really stick onto this mat. I've been using this mat quite a bit, so I'd like to go through this extra step just to be safe. Now I can load the material up, and the machine will align to this mat. With the machine loaded, I can hit go, and this will make the machine start to draw. The drawing function is a really neat tool for this machine. If you don't have a printer at home, which is the case for me, using the drawing tool kind of helps to circumvent that. It is a little bit limited in terms of the number of different colors that you have available, and also the limit of how much time you really want to spend having the machine draw, which is why I'm fast forwarding. But overall, it's a really great function that gives some more flexibility. Now that the drawing is complete, we can move on to the next step. Cricut will automatically tell you that the next step is to cut. So I'm going to go ahead and unclamp, remove the pen, replace the cutting tool, and then reclamp. Now that the blade is in, I can hit go, and the machine will start to cut. I'll also fast forward through this process. Now that the cuts are complete, I can unload the card, and the entire front is done. To remove the card from the mat, I'm going to start to peel from the lower corner. And once I'm in a place where most of it is starting to lift up, I'm going to try to do the remainder in a bit of a more safe fashion by placing the card against a hard surface, just flipped over, and sort of to pry away the cardstock from the mat. This will help prevent any warping, and then I can slide the mat out. You'll notice that some of the cardstock scraps have stuck to the mat, but other ones are still in the card. I'm going to need to weed to remove those. Typically, the weeding tool is used for vinyl materials, however, it can be helpful with cardstock as well, especially if you have very small cuts that really just need to be poked out. You can also remove some of these with your hands, as I'm doing here, dependent on how stuck they really are to the card. In cases when the weeding tool and your fingers just aren't cutting it, you can go in with reinforcements. I've got an X-Acto blade here, and I'm going to just trace over some of the areas that are extra stuck on this card. I could have avoided doing this by running a second cut run on this card. However, I didn't think that it would be necessary when I had first taken a look at it. In retrospect, that might have been helpful. So now I'm just poking out all the little circles that are around the flowers, and I'll speed up through this process as well. Once everything is fully removed and weeded out from the card, we have our complete cover. The next step is going to be writing the message on the inside. So I'll be starting a new project in Design Space and selecting the text function. I'll paste in the message that I had previously developed just in Word off to the side, which is the birthday message for my mom. And you can see that it comes in one long line. To make the formatting match the way that I'd like it to be read on the card, I'm going to need to enter into the text and place separators through the different lines by hitting the Enter key. Now the text will show up on different lines within the card. You can see that here. With the spacing the way that I want it, I can now select the font. I'm going to use the system fonts, which are already downloaded to my machine, and make sure that I'm selecting one that's for writing. This will make the text be written in a single line instead of having dual lines the way that you would for any other font that's not a writing font. Now that I found a font that I like, I'm going to select that and then resize my text so that way it does not exceed roughly 4 inches in width. And also I'll need to change the style from cut to draw. When I go in to make it, I'm still going to be making this on the card mat. And I'm going to make sure that the size of my card is the correct one. From there, I can reposition the text so that way it'll appear exactly on the card where I want it to. And now I'll reconnect to the Joy, select the Insert Card cardstock material, and get my materials ready. To write on the inside of the card, I'm going to flip the fold on the crease that already exists. So now the cover of the card is going below the cutting surface, and I'm going to use the brayer over the top of the area where we're going to have the message written. Now I can switch out my cutting tool for the pen one more time, and then load the material into the machine. Once the material is fully aligned, I can press go, and we'll start to have the message drawn out. I've noticed that when using the draw function on the Cricut Joy, it takes a really long time to write out text. You should consider writing messages that are a little bit shorter to minimize the amount of time it takes to draw, or just keep in mind the amount of time necessary when preparing your projects. And now it's finished writing. You can see that the writing is pretty clear and it's all very even and looks super professional, and it's exactly the result that I was hoping for. I'm going to just remove the pen and place the cutter back in for my next project so I don't accidentally write instead of cut the next time I'm going in. So here I am removing the card from the mat, and I'll just flip the fold one more time, and now it's back the way that you would expect it to be. I can insert the glitter cardstock in, and there is the complete card. You can also place a message on the back of the insert card if you would like by using the card mat as well. You can also use the drawing tool on your envelopes. I'll briefly demonstrate that here. So I would just put the flap in underneath the clear part of the mat, and then when you go in to load the mat, just make sure that your writing is going to be in the correct space when you're on the Make It screen. When I'm done with all my materials, I'm always going to place the clear film back over the card mat. Before we wrap up, I want to mention that this card did print out a little bit off center. To avoid this in future, I would need to move the card further up on the card mat into the blue area. Now that you know how to create your own ready-to-make projects, I hope that you'll enjoy making your own at home. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon.